I'm out with a client, so I'm not going to be sort of concentrating too much on video, more on setting up photographs and taking some locations and doing stuff like that. But I want to make a little video about doing workshops and what I can sort of help and offer if the case may be. And at the moment, I'm offering this. Look at this. This is absolutely stunning. I'm out with Peter. Peter's travelled a long way, which I'll tell you a little bit more probably tomorrow morning. But we're getting Trefan at a glory. We've got this little wispy cloud just appearing there, just making the top of it look like it's up in the clouds and high. We've got this lovely light coming from the right hand side, leaning across, casting all them shadows and making all them rocks, texture and everything popping out. Absolutely stunning. And of course, we've got the classic waterfall as well. Who can come to Llyn and not shoot the classic waterfall? This is the ultimate best place to be in this little valley. It really is. And we've got a cracking amount of water as well, just enough to give you that perfect flow, that perfect movement. And I've got to get another shot off because that cloud's just built up a little bit more. So yeah, I will check in a little bit more later on, but wow, enjoy a few of these images that we've been snapping as we come up the river. And he's smiling at me, look, he's smiling at me, can't believe that I'm actually vlogging on the camera here. And yeah, it's just amazing. We've got a couple of really nice little shots, and I'm going to finish off with a few really, really nice ones before I go back down to the van. And we're stopping in Vans tonight as well, icing on the cake. Good morning. So this is a bit of a transition from where we were yesterday, which was right down the far end of the lake. We're now up at the boathouse and the little tree, just getting a few early morning snaps with this nice little eerie mist that's going on. And Trefan's just decided to come out and say hello, but you can see down there, look at this mist going on down in this bottom corner, and it's just floating around and changing. And I love mornings like this because every time you look at the camera, there's something else that's going on. The way the mist is changing, the light's changing. And we're planning on going up to Llyn after a visit to the little man's room. Yeah, I'm just going to see what's going to happen. But if this mist does hang around, it's going to look quite pretty when you get above it, I think. So, but we don't know, don't have any promises like that. But yeah, Peter's up and about, ready to go. 3 o'clock in the morning, perfect. This is what you want. Keep yourself going, get yourself active, and get out and enjoy your camera. That's what I say. Well, another quick transition. Look, the lights come up now. It's a little bit brighter. Trefan's out and playing. We had a little tiny bit of mist just lingering down there. I'm hoping I can make a bit of an image out of it. And we've got a little bit down in the valley down there as well, and that's leading off into Anglesey in the background. So it's not over yet. There is still some sort of atmosphere going on right down there in that far distance, but we haven't got a cloud in the sky apart from that little tiny little whispery tiny bit of pink there. But I think when that sun comes up, it's just going to blow it all away. It's going to be a gorgeous day, which we don't like, do we, as photographers? But yep, it's nice being up. It's nice seeing the sunrise coming up. And I think I'm ready for a little bit of warmth as well. I'm a bit chilly. I haven't got my hat, forgot my hat, and yeah. Oh, I've had to put my little orange body warmer thing on just to keep that chill off me. That's the problem with these early mornings, is it gets a little bit chilly, and yeah, you just have to wrap up a little bit. But then as soon as you start walking, you get warm, don't you? So, doing all right?
Yes.
We got no clouds. We've got no clouds. We had a spectacular one though, didn't we, when we first saw us last night? That was Oh, really, really nice. So yeah, we've got no clouds, and he's a bit like me, doesn't like blue skies. So we hung around and hung around. We sort of made our way back down to the river and the waterfall, and then we've sort of made our way over onto a mound because we want to look down this valley. We've had a lovely little bit of mist show going on, and it's lingered and lingered and lingered. Even though the sun's come up, you can see the sun's really bright behind us. It's still lingering down there, and it's just starting to dissipate now. It's starting to sort of fade away. But I put the long lens on. I've had me 70 to 300 on, and I'm just trying to pick off little details. You've got the odd tree, the odd bit of sort of leading sort of half mist, half green, and then on the other side you've got the road leading down into the mist, and then down here you've got a little bit of the river going on. So we've got all these different little elements, and I've just been trying to pick off little segments, and yeah, it's been quite nice to shoot something a little bit different from an area that I've been to many. And even right down in the distance, I'm quite amazed that right down there is still fog appearing, even though the sun's on it. So the temperature inversion must be off the scale for that to still be down there. And there's definitely sea mist as well, because you can't see Anglesey. It's right over in the distance, Anglesey is, and you can't see that. But yeah, we're going to head off. We're going to go to find another little location for the rest of the day. Probably have a scout round Dinorwig, because it's high on Peter's list to have a look at Dinorwig Quarry, and I'm up for that. So you know where we are. If you watch me, you've been checking me out for a while, we know we're in Dinorwig Quarry. This is the barracks. This is the ultimate classic location for anyone's first time in North Wales and stuff like that. Peter has seen this on videos and stuff. He's been watching YouTube and things. He's seen me on YouTube, and he wanted to come to visit Dinorwig. So we're going to spend the rest of the day. I know the sun's out, but we've got lots of clouds starting to appear up yonder. So I'm hoping the day will get moodier as the day goes on. And it's just going to fill our boots here, so I thought I'd just check in and say hello. Peter's got his camera out, and I said, you know, walking around handheld while we're on the levels as well is quite nice actually, and when we put it away as we walk up through the levels. But yeah, I will check in and do a quick few hellos on the way, but I'm trying to think out the box. I've just taken a couple of shots of some, I think the stoneman's workings, you know, where they've written on the walls the names when they've lived in these places, and a few shots through the trees, just trying to find something a little bit different, with a little bit maybe a softer depth of field, and just thinking out the box. So we're just at the little painting, a little bit of artwork that's in the quarry, one of the levels that's not commonly known. So yeah, just in a few shots of that. Again, I've got loads of shots in the past with different conditions, but I'll put up what I've taken today, just as a bit of a record that we're here. The very harsh light, it's making it quite contrasty, so again, a little bit different. And I'm looking at some slightly different things. So this old bit of ironwork there with a really old piece of wood that's in it, I just thought I'd take a couple of shots of that, and I might just have a quick one of the cart, and then we're going to move on up. So the idea behind this weekend and this little video as well is I just want to sort of bring it to your knowledge. If you're interested in doing maybe it's like photo walks and stuff like that, or visiting North Wales, Snowdonia, or the Peak District, Lake District and places like that, we actually have a camper van. And this is what Peter's done this weekend. He's hired the camper van out, so we're actually on site, on location. We collected him from the airport, brought him down, and it's just made the weekend and the experience a very different and very interesting one, without having to try and find accommodation and hiring cars and vehicles and being on places and having to drive to places in the morning. So I think if something like this is just something you're interested in, this, whether you live in the UK or you don't live in the UK, Peter's over from Germany, for instance, so we collected him from Manchester Airport and we'll be taking him back Monday evening. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, links will be in the description to the website. You can also contact us, drop us a comment on different Facebook and Instagram, sort of different medias that I'm on, and show me your interest and I'll give you some insight into what we can do, where we can do it and how we can do it. It seems we're getting a little bit of a treat. The wild goats are out, the mountain goats sitting there posing for us. They're obviously hot, it's really, really warm. We're warm, the temperature's quite high. So these guys are probably just having a sit down, because normally they'd be running around, jumping on things and all sorts. So yeah, bit of a treat to have this. Very, very pretty looking with that nice slate background. So I'm just going to get myself a little portrait of this guy here before he gets up and runs away. Come through our little tunnel to have a little nose back down this way, come out of this little entrance just here where the other painting is, and we've got the little waterfall the other end. But I just absolutely love this. I've taken shots of this before, this natural bit of greenage and the little carpet underneath the tree, and then you've got this building that's grown, or not grown, they've got this building that's been built underneath that little arch of the cliff. It's absolutely fantastic. So I've taken a nice little shot of that, and we're just going to have a little mooch here. We stop for a bit of lunch and then we're going to head on somewhere, maybe go up another level and then maybe back down for a cup of coffee at the van. So I thought I'd just check in and let you know what's going on and what we're up to. So we're at Dumbarton, something like that, Dumbarton Castle. There she is, trying to get the evening light, finishing off the day with a nice warm coloured castle. But as I'm looking down there where the sun's setting, it's sort of just gone behind a bank of cloud, and I'm just hopeful that there's a tiny little gap in the clouds that if the sun just peeps through, then it's just going to hit this and get that last final glow. So one of the good things we've been having the van and taking our little camper van out and following me in my little travels on my van is that we don't have to go back for sunset. We don't have to go back for our evening meal. We can get food where we want. We can be out from late as we want or as early as we want. You've seen as we were out for sunrise before the even sun come up. We're now here for sunset, the sun's setting down in the evening. So yeah, we've got no restrictions on time. The only problem is we all smell and the flies are gathering. We haven't had a shower for 2 days. So what? Does it matter, does it? There's no one around. It's just us. It's been a really good day. It's been really interesting. We're going to carry on tomorrow, but I've definitely tired Peter out. The poor man, his legs are weary, but we've just been for a lovely meal and something to eat. But yes, it's been really good. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, it's that time of the morning again, isn't it, that everyone's up and out taking photographs. And I'm not alone this morning. We brought Peter out to do the lone tree, and we thought we'd grab it early before it got a little bit busy. And the light was pretty bad. It was pretty simple, pretty boring. There was no clouds, there was no colour. It was just a blue hour shot. The tree is not quite as good as it used to be. There's a big bush now down on the left-hand side that's just taken over, and the water level's quite low. But we've hung around. I estimated 15 photographers, not quite, we only got about 12. So yeah, it's quite a busy, popular place still, even at this time of the year. But conditions have changed and the mist has rolled in, and it's just inspired me to take a few photographs of it, just as it is, because it's just softened off the background. I brought out the wrong lens. I brought out the 18 to 55 instead of my wide angle, so I'm limited to just shooting the tree and the reflection, but I've managed to sort out a nice little shot for Peter while we were here this morning. So I'll put this one up for you, let you have a look at this. The story as is going still, we're still doing this weekend, morning, nights and afternoons. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to end up doing this today. Probably some waterfalls, if I can find some that hasn't got people in, that is. Well, would you believe it? Look at what's happened here. Completely fogged in. But I did manage to get a little shot of what looks like an island, which isn't an island, but by the way the fog sort of engrossed the background, it sort of just left this little gap, and I took a shot. I think it works. If it works, it's going to come up on the screen. And then I've also had a bit of a play. There's been a couple of ducks swimming around, and a guy on a paddle board. So I've taken a couple of very severely minimalistic shots. Again, if they work, I'll pop them up, and I'll see you a bit later on. We have moved on again. We are not in the same location. We are still in Llanberis in North Wales, but we're heading up to a kind of a secret little waterfall. It's not a secret, it's on all the maps. It's even in the Llyn Padarn photography guidebooks, which I'll put a link for in the description, because the guidebooks are amazing for all over the UK and even Iceland. And the photograph I'm taking Peter to see today is actually my photograph in the guidebook. Amazing. I'll show you a picture on screen. But yeah, we're heading up to the Llanberis waterfall. Very pretty, and on the way we've got some beautiful falls, like down here next to me. We've got all these cascades, so we're going to go to the top, get the camera set up, take some pictures, and then get some pictures on the way back down, because it's looking very green, very lush, and quite fairy-like. Quite a difficult one to actually photograph, really, because the way the water's coming over the actual top of the falls, it comes down at a diagonal, so it's behind the rock, you can't quite see it, so you can actually walk up the cliff a little bit. So I'm going to head up there and have a little nose up there, sort of looking down on it if I can. But what I'm trying to concentrate on is I'm doing a couple of different exposures, different ISOs, different shutter speeds to get the movement, but I'm just concentrating on the bottom of the waterfalls and keep snapping shots, quite a lot of shots, one after the other, because the way the water's moving, the light's coming through it, and I think it's just going to cast a slightly different spray every so often. So I'm going to master the perfect one, find the best one, show you what I mean, show you what it looks like. But yeah, the spray coming through the light looks quite good. Hopefully we might get a waterfall. We've got this beautiful little waterfall in front of us. It's got a lovely style of cascade. We've got this big cascade at the top, which is obviously your main interest, and you've got this little zigzag of cascades coming down. I like the greenage on the left-hand side. I'm not keen on the highlights in the top part of the image, so I've dropped the image down low so I get rid of the highlights. But what I am doing as a safety net is taking a very underexposed image just to save those highlighted areas if I need to, so I can just paint them back in off the low exposure image, so the quick shutter speed. Just as a safety net. I'm doing single shots, I'm doing horizontal and vertical because I like them both. Let me know which one you prefer, the horizontal shot or the vertical shot. And I've also changed the shutter speeds from sort of 0.16 of a second down to 2 seconds. And I just like the variation in the water movement. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a really, really nice, pretty little shot. Very fairy looking. It could do with a little bit of a hazy mist, but I do like that dappled light coming through. Cracking shot. Everyone's safe. We're going to move on somewhere else. And we suddenly transition into our probably final location. And we have turned up at Nant Mill, the waterfall, Las Pauas, I think it's called, something like that. I'll put the name of it up for you. We're going to get a shot. It's very brown. It's the bright sunlight is out, which is really, really bad for waterfalls. But this waterfall, I brought Peter here purely because it's on the way home for dropping off the van and stuff like that and going off to his, he might be going off on a single location tonight for himself. But we're here because I know the canopy of the trees is really heavy and dense, so it stops all the light hitting the waterfall and bleaching it out. So this should be quite a nice shot. And what he's doing at the moment, he's doing a bit of gardening, clearing up the step, clearing up the path in front. And I do hope he's not going to go swimming and fall in, because I know these rocks are very, very slippery. And yeah, we don't want to be doing that. We've got to work with the people. Obviously, there's people here. I just give some advice of take a shot, take another shot, take another shot in different locations and try and blend in the parts where there's people. Best you can do really, but I will get a couple of shots and I'll put them up and let you have a look. Okay, so I've got my first shot set up, and I love these little light rays that we're getting coming through the tree, and we're getting these little rays of light coming down near the water, and I didn't think the camera could actually pick it up, but it is. I've got quite a long exposure, I've got like a 3-4 second exposure, which is way too long for the water, but I really don't care. I like the fact that I can see them light rays dancing in the background. I'm going to zoom in a bit tighter as well so I can get a tighter shot, see if I can get them to stand out a bit more. Now I've brought my camera quite low, tilted it down quite low because I don't want that really bright highlighted top area. Even though the canopy's there to take out the sunlight, it's still very bright compared to the very dark rocks at the bottom. So yeah, keeping the camera tilted down. And the polarizer seems to be making quite a bit of difference on the rocks as well. So eliminate as much glare as I can, a nice long exposure, and getting them light rays dancing. It looks really, really good. So I've moved over a little bit now, trying to get a closer shot with these light rays in, and I'm loving this light, the way it's dancing and the way it's flickering through, but it's quite hard with all the kids jumping in the water. But I think it's a little bit different having these rays of light in front of the waterfall. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but it's definitely different. I've got the polarizer on, and I've also got a quarter glow mist as well, my Maven filters. I've got and every so often when the lads jump in, they splash the water up, and what it's doing is it's causing more rays of light and splashes in the actual light rays, so if that makes sense. So it's quite a good little addition to add to the water, the splash. And as it's a long exposure, you're not seeing the kids, you're just seeing the aftermath. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm just waiting for the guy to jump in again, because he's a big lad and he causes a big splash. Changed it up again. I've gone for an even longer exposure now because I'm really trying to make those light rays stand out, and I don't want any people in the shots whatsoever. Just had the kids come over to me just now and ask me if they can get some pictures of a mister, and I'm like, well yeah, I could, but I don't particularly want to. But yeah, the light rays look fantastic, and I've got the polarizer on to give me the glare, taking that away. I've got the quarter mist on to just emphasize that mysteriously softness. And then I've got a 3-stop on there as well. You can see a little red one on the front as well, and that's giving me a longer exposure, which is making them light rays as they're dancing. It's making them last longer, so they're actually getting thicker, if that makes any sense. And as the sun's moving across the sky and changing through the leaves, the actual light rays are changing position. It's just a shame they're not turning into rainbows, but yeah, I like that. Very different. I've shot this location several times, but I've never had it quite so mysterious as particularly this one that I'm looking at now. Very cool. I like that. So we are done. We are heading back to the van. Peter's not necessarily done because he's here till tomorrow late afternoon. So we'll see this evening what we're going to do. We're going to take him home and shower him. I'm going to get the jet wash out because you know what it's like when you're out in the van. Unless you go to campsites and things like that, showering is very difficult. Both me and Marta were in the water this morning. I actually got in Llyn Padarn. Yes, you heard it. I got in the water. Didn't video it, got no footage, no phone, nothing. I just got in and had a swim. It was fantastic. So I'm a little bit clean. But what I wanted to do was ask Peter what he actually thought of his weekend that probably wasn't originally planned. He was coming over, wanted to spend the weekend, do some photography, but I, you know, suggested the van and it's come over.
Into the van.
I kind of did in a way, didn't
Yeah,
I?
you did.
So yeah, what do you think really now you've been in the van and been out in the van?
Yeah. To be honest, it was much better than I thought originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I'll take that as a good then, yeah.
Yeah. So recommend it to everyone who wants to do a workshop because you're right in the places where you want to take your photographs. No time to travel, no hustle to find the spot where you meet if you are separated or have your own car. So everything is nice and ready, and Paul knows all the facilities around there. So you don't have to worry about anything, and I can only recommend it highly.
It is, and that's kind of our sort of sold it to Peter, you know, that we can drive, we can be on location, because at this time of year, which is May, the sun was rising, 12 minutes past 5 this morning, which would mean we got up at sort of 3:30 we left to make sure we were okay. But if you were driving to that location, you'd have to leave maybe half an hour, half an hour earlier than that. So yeah, it's a big benefit for that sort of thing. Glad you enjoyed it. It's been fun, and it's not over. It's not over yet.
Yeah, and I must admit, we had such a good luck with the weather conditions.
We've not done bad. In fact, I think you've been really lucky.
Yeah, but on Friday evening and this morning, it was Lone Tree with the fog around it. It was brilliant.
The fog, yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
No,
I wasn't expecting that, so it was good. So we have finished off on the waterfall. been fantastic, it's been really good, and I would recommend it, and it sounds like Peter would recommend it. So if you're interested, all the links will be in the description. Just contact me, we can arrange. Oh, and we've got to give the thumbs up, I'll do that one in a minute. And yeah, I can talk you through what we can do, where we can go, and what's available and how it all works. It's just an idea I've had, or we've had, me and Marta. It's Marta's van at the end of the day that we're using, and yeah, no, fantastic. Glad he's enjoyed it, because I was panicking at one point. Right, so we are going to go. So don't forget to, I knew I'd catch him out, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Give us a thumbs up, and yeah, if you don't drop us a comment usually, drop us one on this one. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts or what you think. Ciao for now, see you soon, and better say goodbye to Marta as well, because it's her van I've pinched. Say bye.
He's great.
Bobby's great.
Say bye.
Ta-da, see you soon, guys.